Guys, when I met Josh in Salt Lake City, I was like, this dude is going to cause a storm. Like I could just see it. The fire, the like when he gets a hold of something, I mean, I'm just telling you, the clarity in his eyes. Like I just knew this guy was going to come on and tear things up. He is dominating in the IUL space. He has figured it out, guys. So here's what I'm telling you. Act like what you're going to hear next is federal law. Like if you don't do it, the government will come and get you. Because seriously, here's what messes people up. And I don't want to go on a rant because I want to save as much time as I can for Josh. Guys, here's what messes people up. Doing their version of something that works. We see it in the base shop all the time. If you do what we teach and sell in the final expense sales side, you will sell a lot of final expense. What happens is people do their version of what we're teaching. And then they go, well, I don't know why it's not working. Let me tell you something. If you're not writing serious volume every week, it's either activity or technique. So which is it? Which is it? So here's what I'm telling you. Bring the activity and then do it exactly like he's going to talk about. Because I don't know if your version of that will work, but here's what I know for a fact beyond the shadow of a doubt. His version of this absolutely works. So just copy, swipe, copy, deploy. That's what I'm telling you guys. We are going to make this, we are recording this training. We will make it available as a training resource. But guys, take notes and then come out of this and just do it. Just don't think, just do it. Don't worry, just do it. Don't analyze, oh, I got to think. No. Every hesitation costs you money. Every hesitation costs you money. Hesitation is one of the most expensive habits you can possibly engage in. So I don't know about you, but I live my life in a way that I can't afford a lot of hesitation. Does that make sense? It blows my mind when people at lower income levels they hesitate like crazy. You have any idea how expensive hesitation is? I don't want to waste any of my life on hesitation. So we come out of this call, let's attack this thing. I'm telling you, I believe in this. I see it working. The numbers are there, and he knows what he's talking about. So guys, let's turn it over to my buddy, Josh Reaves.
What's up, everybody? Super honored and thrilled to be on this call. A little nervous. That's quite an intro. Lots of pressure. No pressure, though. There's a couple things I want to say real quick to start.
This is my
Number
camera on.
one, it is super scary, but it is very, very simple. Um, and number two, final expense could never. And that's me, not me trying to talk down on final expense, or if you're selling final expense and that's your bread and butter, like heck yeah. However, if there's part of you that is feeling like you could be doing more and doing better, um, it's because you could be doing more and you could be doing better. It's not necessarily your fault though. Like if you look at your numbers, you might just be getting the most out of what you could be doing with the vehicle that you're currently in. It's about what vehicle you're currently in. What I am doing right now is not special. I'm just in a different vehicle than final expense. And once you get into a different vehicle, if you do it well, you're gonna have different numbers than you would on a product like Final Expense because Final Expense, the average deal size is just not as big. So all that to be said is just it's really simple. If you want more and you want to do more, listen to that internal voice and put yourself in a position where you can naturally do more. You don't have to do anything special. Just ignore the fear and put yourself in a different vehicle that's going to produce different results for yourself. And if you add in the activity and you add in the same work that you do with final expense, you're going to do well. And you might actually do way better because it's a different vehicle, it's a different product. The average deal size is much bigger. Um, and yeah, that's the first thing I kind of wanted to say. If there's that internal voice in you that's just like, you want to see what else is out there and what else you could be doing, listen to it. Take advantage of it. I'm not sure. I would think that there's some people on this call that were on the call a few months ago when Steven first had me on here. And at that point, if any of you guys were on that call, I was selling just final expense. I think I had just started to do IUL leads as well. So just a few months prior, I was doing mostly final expense. And then I listened to that voice and just got over myself and started with a batch of Infinity Box IUL leads. And fast forward now, 4 months of Infinity Box leads. I've dropped final expense at the beginning of April, and literally, like my life's entirely different. I mean, I'm a human being. I still have problems, but the power of the IUL and like just the vehicle I'm in now, just after 4 months. It's totally different. Like, I woke up. This is not a brag. This is not in any. I want you guys to understand the potential that you have here because it's crazy. I could not write any business this month. I'll still issue 40,000 just from the pipeline that's been built up. That's not going to happen with final expense. It's because of IUL. I could probably just let their system and my appointment setter just book appointments for me this month, and I'd write another 40 or 50. It's not because I'm special. It's because I'm in a different vehicle with enough leads selling the right product. The numbers are going to happen. Um, so if there's that voice in you right now that's like, I need to do this, you should freaking do it and just listen to it. Um, Steven, you want me to talk about like Infinity Box's process and kind of just how I do things? Oh, okay. I'm assuming that's a yes because I can't hear Steven. Um, Steven, can you guys hear me? Okay, awesome. My bad. I'm awkward. So Infinity Box, I want to talk to you guys about Infinity Box. I have not worked any other IUL leads. I don't think I need to. Infinity Box is an incredible company. That's who I got started with in February. I literally just saw an ad for them online and was like, "Oh, this looks pretty cool." And I tried it out. I was terrified. I was freaked out. The internal voice in my head, which I call the committee, there's always this committee in your brain that's like, "You can't do this. You suck. You're gonna fail." You've just got to learn to ignore the committee. I ignored the committee in February. I bought 100 leads with them, and I just got to work. And fast forward to now, now I'm doing 400 leads a month. I'm not telling you you have to do that. I'm giving you how quickly things can change for you. I started off with 100, 4 months later, now I'm doing 400. Um, it's one thing, this is not for the weak. I would say that. You are going to have challenges. This is like not final expense, guys. This is like an entirely different sales process. You've got to really get into the mindset of you are in sales. And yes, you are an insurance broker, and your job is to help people and to be there for them and to take care of all their needs. You're also in sales, and you need to have a shark mentality, and you need to realize that like this is not final expense. That I would say that's one of the biggest differences. Like your IUL client is not home most of the time. They're working or they have young children. You need to get used to that. It's not 65-year-old, 80-year-old Mary and John that are sitting at home watching CNN and Fox all day. It's not the case. These people are busy, they have lives. So you need to come into it with a different mentality and really like pull out all your strengths and all your skills. But my sales process, I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but I really want you guys to realize how simple it is. Like once you overcome the fear and you get leads that are focused on the IUL and want the IUL, I would recommend Infinity Box for multiple reasons. They have a great system. When you order leads from Infinity Box, you not only get their leads, you get a fully built out Go High Level CRM, fully built out. It's a $50 fee a month. It's fully built out for you. It has AI automations that text all of your leads the second it comes in, and every day after that, it nurtures it. So you're getting the leads, you're also getting a fully built out CRM with AI automations that will book appointments onto your calendar for you and will text your leads and nurture them for you. You're getting that. You're also getting a really awesome Slack channel with all of their clients. You'll have a client success onboarding coach that will literally meet with you once a week just to help you. The owner is transparent. The salespeople are transparent. Their back office support is. You're getting their leads, their system, automations, a Slack channel. I've developed relationships with other people in Infinity Box that buy their leads. I've developed relationships with people within their company. It is freaking awesome. And I'm a big guy in like getting my penny's worth. I just am. Most of us are. You should be. I am spending more money with them right now each month than I used to make in a month. That's not a brag. That's just to say that if I have that confidence to do that, it's because I really believe in it, guys. Like their product is great. You're not only just getting the lead, you're getting a system, you're getting automations, you're getting assistance, you're getting help, you're building relationships with other people that are doing it successfully that you can talk to at any time of day. So you're getting the whole gambit. You're not just getting leads sent to you. Oh, good luck. You've got a lot of support there for you. It's really simple. When I get a lead that comes in, the AI automation is going to text them right there for me. I also text people off my personal cell phone. I'm going to call them on my cell phone a couple of times and then just try to catch them during the day. You're definitely going to want to try to do just one call closes. Some people try to go into this and they try to just be super smart and I've got to book an appointment because it's the IUL and it needs to be properly structured, blah, 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 blah. Quit overcomplicating it. Just have a natural conversation with somebody once you get on the phone and help them. Like secretly, every call I go into, yes, I'm trying to sell them on the IUL, but I literally word for word tell them, I'm not going to try to sell you on this because I don't have time for it. That is what a lot of these people want to hear. Everybody knows that they need life insurance, especially this demographic, like 35 to 55, I would say is the typical age of the people I speak to. They know that they need it, but they tell themselves that they don't want to have it, don't want to have it. It's different than like somebody walking onto a car lot, okay? And they want a Mercedes, but they have a 580 credit score and $3,000 to put down. In that circumstance, that person is hoping and praying that a car salesman walks up to them and still will sell them a car. This is not that. This is sales, but it's kind of indirect in a way. You've got to find a way to sell it to them without being salesy. And so I just have a natural conversation with people. There really is no script. One book I would recommend everybody read is The Way of the Wolf. Davies put me on that book. Incredible book. It's just a straight line. It's just a human conversation. So a lead comes in, the AI automation is already texting them. If I see them texting back to the bot, I'm calling them multiple times. I'm calling the leads the same way I would final expense. You just have to be ready for the fact that a lot of these people aren't home, they're busy, and so you're going to really have to be a salesman in some ways in that process. Um, Once I get them on the phone, though, it's just a natural conversation. You do end up booking a lot of appointments, calls. It's inevitable because a lot of these people are busy. They have work schedules. Their kids are in school. You've got to work around their schedule. But I'm not going to go looking for the appointment. I'll schedule it if that's what I can tell in the first minute or two. This person's busy. All right, let's schedule a follow-up. But the second they answer the phone, I just start off. I'm like, hey, yeah, this is Joshua Reeves at the Integrity Group. Um, just reaching out to you real quick based off the inquiry that you sent in regarding an IUL and the tax-free cash accumulation that that product provides you. Like, is that something that you've been looking for a little while now, or just recently? That's it. Just that's my intro line. You can do whatever the heck you want, but just super natural and then they'll give me an answer and then I just start talking to them. My first 10 to 15 minutes of each conversation is very, very human. And I tell people exactly what I'm going to do before I do it. I'm a big believer in like verbiage and just tell people what you're doing. I will literally tell them, yeah, man, so let's just talk for a few minutes. Let me get to know you real quick. This is a human business. I'm not selling you a car here. I want to get to know you on a human level. If I end up helping you, I want to help you long term. So I just want to kind of just figure out who you are, where you're from, etc., and why you want to do this. And so the first 10 to 15 minutes is me discovering some things. How long have they been looking for this? Have they had one in the past? What are they looking for? Where are they from? What do they do for a living? How's their family doing? Do they have kids? Are their kids in school? Are the kids in high school? Etc., etc., etc. Get to know them. Get them talking about themselves. Like, just be a human being. They decided to buy the product the second they filled out the lead form. You don't have to sell them on the value. You should, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. You don't have, like, they've already made the decision mentally that they probably would buy this when they filled out the lead form. Okay, so I'm just going to get into the conversation and just talk very naturally. First 10 to 15 minutes, just like we're having a cup of coffee. All right, like just talk to them. And once I feel that I've kind of gotten as much information as I can and I've got a good idea of what they want here, what their personality type is, then I'm automatically just instinctively, adjusting how I'm going to do things with them. And then once we've had the human conversation, there are three categories that I talk to everybody about. And every time I speak to somebody, I've got a blank sheet of white paper, green sheet, blank paper. I use my white paper a lot of the time. I have ADD. I can't look at all those boxes. You should use the green sheet, white paper, whatever you have. You need a piece of paper. Just start writing things down. And I'll make a mental note that I'll write the word insurance, or excuse me, I'll write the word health, then I'll write the word insurance, then I'll write the word finances. So once I've talked to them 10 to 15 minutes on a human level and helped them realize that I'm a human being, that I'm just doing my job and trying to help them, and I've gotten them to kind of come back down to earth, the first thing I talk to them about is health. So I literally will say to people, "Hey, before we get too deep into this, I'm gonna talk to you about your health real quick. just because I want to be sure that you at least have 50% or higher approval odds for this product. So when it goes to difficulty for applying for something, it goes IUL, term, and whole life. I think that's accurate. IUL is tough to get. So I'm just like, hey, I'm going to ask you some questions real quick just to be sure I don't build you up on the value of something that you can't qualify for. Okay. And then I'm going to ask them the same health questions that you would ask a final expense client. Heart attack, cancer, stroke, diabetes, high blood pressure, any heart, lung, liver, kidney, pancreas problems, mental health or neurological diagnoses. Do you have any felonies or DUI? Are you a smoker? Any seizures? What prescriptions are you taking, etc. Okay. And then, sorry, I was getting a call. Oops. Embarrassing. Um, so once I finish the health factor, then you've got to just use your experience and your sales skills to know whether or not you should continue to try to sell them on the IUL. One thing is like let underwriting departments, let insurance companies do the underwriting. You are not an underwriter. Okay. I can't tell you how many policies I've gotten approved through Fidelity or Guarantee and Guarantee or the IULE that a lot of IUL purists and people out there would have told me, oh, they're not going to qualify. They qualified, I got them that product and I got paid. So like ask your health questions and then make a determination in your gut of what you think's going to happen and then proceed with the conversation. But unless it's like a heart attack, cancer, stroke, a recent felony, like proceed. Let the underwriters do the decisions, guys. You're gonna have a lot of people with the IULs tell you, "Oh, you can't apply for that. They're not going to get qualified." Bogus. Like, let the companies do the underwriting. You submit the application, unless it's an obvious, like, this guy's not going to get it. So once I talk to them about their health real quick, if I feel like they're going to get qualified, I'll make them feel really good. I'll be like, hey, so awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. I do believe that you're going to be able to get qualified for this. Now, God humbles me every day. I'm not right about everything, but I do feel confident enough proceeding with this conversation. So once I've got at least a good feeling in my gut that they'll qualify for it, I'm going to move over to insurance education. This is the most important part, guys. If you break down this portion of the conversation properly, you sold it right there. So I'll ask them, hey, what experience do you have with life insurance? Like, do you know the differences between term, whole life, and IUL? And typically people are like, nah, I'm not really sure. And then it'll be like, okay, so I'm going to give you a quick, college education on life insurance real fast, just so you know what we're talking about, so you know the differences between the IUL and the others, and so that you see where the value is here for you. And if it sounds like a product that you want to, see if you can get, we'll continue talking after that. So after health, after human conversation, then I talk to them about their health, and then we go to insurance. And then I literally just in explicit detail break down term first, then I break down whole life, and then I explain the IUL. And I keep it very simple. Hey, term insurance is something that's temporary. It is going to expire. Term insurance is something that's temporary. It is going to expire. So after 10, 15, 20, 30 years, etc., your money is going to be gone. Your coverage is going to be gone. And the cost of getting your next policy is going to be dramatically higher because you're 10 to 30 years older. Okay. So term insurance is a lower premium, a higher coverage, but it's going to expire. So your money is going to be gone, your coverage is going to be gone. I know you guys know this, but I'm just literally giving you guys what I tell people. So I break down term insurance, so I break down whole life. Whole life is permanent. It's going to last your whole life. Whether you die day one or at 150, your family's getting paid tax-free. I'll explain that there's a little bit of cash accumulation to a whole life policy, but it's not a savings account, okay? People try to say that. It's not a savings account, okay? And so I'll explain term, then I'll explain whole life, then I go to the IUL. And I keep it really simple, guys, with the IUL. Index universal life. And this, what I'm saying to you guys right now, I know I'm talking really fast. I drank a lot of coffee. This is exactly word for word what I say to people. The order in which I'm giving you guys my script is exactly what I do. Human conversation. Ask them about their health. Explain the differences between term, whole life, and IUL. When you get to the IUL portion, I'm going to say it exactly as I would to a client. So John, the IUL, that's what we're talking about today. The IUL stands for Index Universal Life Insurance. There are three main components of an IUL, and I'm going to try to keep this really simple for you. Inside of an IUL, you have a whole life permanent death benefit if your policy is funded properly and if it is active. So what that means is whether you die day one or at 90, whenever it is, your family's going to get paid that death benefit tax free. So your insurance coverage is protected for the rest of your life as long as your policy is active and funded properly. Number two, you have living benefits that protect you financially if you are ever terminally, chronically, or critically ill. So what that means is if you get a terminal, chronic, or critical illness, you are going to have access to a certain portion, depending on the severity of the illness, of the death benefit to be advanced to you while you're living. So obviously, John, money's not going to fix your problems. It's not going to heal you, but you would much rather get paid $200,000 if you had cancer than not. Okay, so you've got a death benefit, John, that protects your family. You've got living benefits that protect you, and then you've got cash accumulation that will protect and grow a portion of the money each month that you're paying for this product that you need. So, John, when you pay your premium each month, a portion of your premium is going to pay for the cost of your coverage. The remainder of your premium is going to go into a cash bucket, a savings account, an Easter egg basket, whatever the heck you want to call it. And that cash bucket's going to earn interest based off the performance of index funds. So let's use, for example, the S&P 500 index fund. Typically, your results are going to be anywhere from 6 to 10% interest earned annually. So when the S&P 500 goes up 9%, so does your cash account. What's amazing about this cash account, though, is that let's say in 5 years from now we go to war with China and the S&P 500 goes down 40%, your cash account's not going to lose any money that year. You've got a 0% loss protection. Okay. So a portion of your premium is earning interest each year based off the gains of the market, but you're never paying for any of the losses based off what some DC politician or New York stockbroker did. And then as life goes on, that bucket just grows and grows and grows, and you can access that money at any time without penalty and without taxes. You will never pay a penalty, John, and you will never pay taxes, okay, on the cash proceeds of your IUL. So the way to look at this product, John, is this is a way to, you know you need life insurance, or you have a couple of kids. You know you need it. This is a way for you to get that protection that you need while you still get to benefit from it if you get sick, and while the dollars that you're putting towards what you need are also doing jumping jacks for you in the background. If you break down term, whole life, and then IUL like that, it's over. Conversation over, guys. Like it is over. Everybody knows that they need life insurance. The problem that a lot of people have with it, especially with term and whole life, is, well, I'm not benefiting from it. Why am I going to pay all this money? It's a valid concern. It is. With the IUL, you get to take advantage of that concern and just erase it. Hey, guess what? You're paying this money, but you actually get to benefit from it as well. So once I've broken down the three different types of life insurance, then I'm going to move into a little bit about me. This is the only pitch, I would say, portion of my conversation with people. I had one guy tell me it was a broken record one time. I don't care. I'm going to let the broken record spin. It works more often than not. Go with the things, guys, that work more often than not. So I'll tell them, hey, John, so I'm an independent broker. That's the most important thing I want you to know about me, sir. I have contracts with these insurance carriers that allow me to have this conversation with you, but I don't work for them. Okay, John, like their bottom line, their happiness, I don't care about it. I'm not their employee. I don't have a manager behind me telling me to do this or that to you. This is a very flexible and customizable conversation for you, John. You are my boss, okay? I work for you right now and I work on behalf of my clients, okay? The only thing that matters to me today are three things. Number one, I want to get to know you on a human level. This is a human business. It has to do with human lives. It's not a Mercedes or a BMW. Number two, I want to educate you on what the IUL is for you and try to help fill in any gaps. And then number three, here in a second, what I want to do for you, brother, is simply build an option based off what might make most sense for you. How much coverage do you want? Where do you want to be when you're 65? What fits into your budget? And we're going to build an option for you based off what might make most sense. And if it sounds pretty good, if it sounds good to go, what you and I are going to do together is we are going to fill out an application to determine your medical eligibility. Okay? Because that's the first part of this process. If this sounds like a product that you want to have, we need to build an option for you that makes sense and will fit into your life. And then we're going to go ahead and apply for it just to see if we can get you an approval. The IUL is something that typically can take a week or two. So that's the next step of this process. And that's it. You know, you can tell them whoever the heck you are, your background. I like to tell people I'm an independent broker. I like to make them feel like I work for them. I like to make them feel like this is very flexible and customizable. And then right at the end, that is where I set the intentions for an application. It is very important that you set the intentions for an application. Remember, they made the decision to buy it when they filled out the form. I'm not asking them for their permission. I'm not asking them, is it okay? I'm telling them, we are going to do this next. Help them finalize the decision they already made when they decided to fill out the form. They already started the buying decision. Help them finalize it. That's it. You don't even have to sell them on it. Um, And so once I set the intention for the application, then I'm gonna just, then it's the fun part. I'll literally tell people, hey, this is a fun part. And I'll break down their finances with them. What's your monthly income? What are your monthly expenses? A good rule of thumb that I've used for the amount of coverage somebody needs in an IUL is take their income, multiply it by three, start there as a baseline. So use your option one as their income by three, use your option two as their income by four, and use your option three as their income by five. Okay, so that's the coverage you would want to have in an IUL. Just in my, not everybody's going to fit in that, but that's a good way to do it. Take their income, multiply it by three, four, and five, and those are your one, two, and three options. Um, and a lot of people are going to try to bite off more than they can chew, guys. Like a lot of people want to, they want this big thing. They want to, oh, I want to put a bunch of money in an IUL. A lot of people are not ready for that. They're not in the right mindset to do that. They don't have the budget to do that. And you have to make a decision in the budget portion of the conversation, sometimes to like lower what they want. I've had to learn this the hard way, guys. People, let me give you guys some risks too, okay? I've had some problems selling IULs. Like there's gonna be problems. Just get through it. Problems are opportunities, truly. Um, I've had some chargebacks, nothing crazy, but I've had a few, and I can look at each of those conversations and I can say to myself, that happened because somebody wanted something bigger than they could bite off and chew, and I didn't have the strength or the confidence in that moment to direct them the other way. So you need to be sure in your budget portion of the conversation that you have a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that what you're helping them set up fits into their life. So it's the same thing with final expense, but this one's even more important because if you do it the right way, it is a lifelong policy. It is a lifelong client. If you mess up, I guarantee you a $3,000 chargeback is going to hurt a hell of a lot worse than a $500 one. So just be really cautious there, be very, very careful, and don't be afraid to like, you're the professional, you have the expertise. You guide them and tell them what makes most sense. Hey, listen to me, John. In my professional experience, I'm going to recommend this. Okay. I think this is best to get started with. Just get people started, guys. And then once you've got that option built and they tell you which one makes most sense for you, fill out the application. All right, John, so what we're going to do real quick, I'm going to go ahead and shoot you over a link so that you can follow my screen. I use Crankwheel, guys. I'm going to shoot you over a link. You can click on it. We're going to go ahead and fill this application out together. And then before I fill that application out with them, I tell them exactly what I'm going to need and ask for before we even start. Okay, I'm preventing any objections. I rarely, if ever, from final expense to now IUL, ever get a social or banking objection, guys. And it's because I prepare them for it. I'm like mentally preparing them so they're not surprised. John, I'm going to ask you for your first name, your last name, your height, your weight, your date of birth, your email address, your physical address, your citizen status, your smoker status. I'm going to ask you all of your medical and prescription background info is tied to your social security number. All of your legal and driving history is tied to your driver's license number, and then so on and so forth. And I explain that I'll ask some medical questions, beneficiary information, and then finally at the end, we are going to put in your banking information so that this policy can be drafted and active when it starts. And then we're going to decide a start date for the policy, and then we're going to submit the application, John. And from that moment on, it's up to me to help you with this process. Be sure you get you an approval. Does that make sense? Once they say yes, we're done. We got, 15-minute application, however long it takes. Um, I know I just said a lot. Um, one other thing I would like to talk to you guys about. Beware of the IUL purist. You may not know who that person is yet, but if you start buying IUL leads and you start doing this, you're going to meet an IUL purist. You're going to meet somebody that tells you, oh, you better be careful, you better do this and that, and I don't know, man. But you're going to meet your first IUL purist who thinks that they know everything because they've written a couple of option B fidelity and guarantee IULs for their parents or something, and they're going to really put you down. They're going to make you feel like you got to be perfect at this and you got to know what you're doing. And oh, beware of that person, ignore that person, and move on. I met a lot of those people a few months ago, back in February, that were like, Josh, you better this and that. Those people are now doing what I am doing. Okay? And it's not because I'm special. It's because I tried something and I took the risk and it's working out thus far. And those very same people that if I'd listened to would have told me you shouldn't be doing this right now, you're not ready for it, this and that. Those very same people, the naysayers, are now doing it themselves and looking to me for advice. The very same people could be looking to you for advice in 4 months. All you have to do is just take the initiative and learn. You are not supposed to be perfect. You're not supposed to know how everything works at the start. That is where you get into sales, guys. You are in sales. You are an insurance broker. Yes, you're supposed to help families. You're also in sales. Learn as you go. Don't be afraid to take a risk and figure it out. But beware of the IUL purist, okay? Another thing, not everybody is a good candidate, okay? For an F&G path setter, option B, like option A, not everybody needs that. What's awesome about Infinity Box leads, IUL leads, and just the IUL vehicle in general is I would say probably 80% of people just need an IULE. That's it. They just want a life insurance policy that benefits some cash value, that builds some cash value as well that they get to benefit from. That's all they want. They don't have the budget, the mindset, or any of that to deal with some fidelity and guarantee, big giant path setter IUL. Okay. And you're going to have a lot of people tell you that F&G is the way to go on everything. And listen, F&G is a great company, guys. But just because it's hot and it's got all the bells and whistles does not mean that everybody needs it. That's what's incredible about Infinity Box leads. It's like more often than not, it's an IULE conversation. It's quick and easy. They just want an insurance policy that builds some cash value. Um, and that will make a lot more sense to you if you start doing Infinity Box leads. But beware of the IUL purist. And there's a lot of people that are going to tell you do these complex structured IULs, F and G, blah blah blah. Those are for people that are in the right situation, state of mind, and financial position to have a policy like that. It's not for everybody. A lot of people just need an IULE. For a person that just needs a simplified issue, quick to go, I'm going to do IULE, and I might try Americo, and then you can try the F&G Everlast. Everlast is going to give you it's a 2-day decision time. You're going to get an answer really quick. But just beware of the IUL purist. I cannot say this enough. Um, that person's always sitting on the sidelines. He's a naysayer to everybody, and then he follows along eventually. And then number two, not everybody is a good fit, guys, for an F&G path setter or something complicated. Just because it's a great product and it has bells and whistles and everyone loves it does not mean it's a good fit for everybody. I have found that out the hard way. Okay. Um, get the lead, call them, have a human conversation. Human conversation, health, insurance education, tell them about you, set the intention for the application, build a budget, find out which option works best, explain what the application is going to look like, submit the application. Don't ask for permission, just do it. Tell them what you're going to do and do it and get people covered. At the end of the day, whether it's an IUL term, whole life, at the end of the day, the core of what you're doing is providing someone coverage. Okay. So if you end the call and you got them an IULE or an Americo policy or an F&G Everlast or a path setter, it's all the same. You got somebody covered, you helped somebody, and you get paid for it too. So just don't overcomplicate it. I've said it multiple times. I just really want to hit it over the head. Beware of the IUL purist. Just stay away from them. And not everybody's a good fit for some of these complex structured policies. Some people just need an IULE. All you're doing is taking your final expense skills and translating them over to this. And if you translate them properly, and if you just have a human conversation, you're going to make way more money and do way better just because you're in a different vehicle.